Welcome back to another episode of Bad Decision Garage. Today, a little bit of a different situation. Gonna go pick up a new project car that my buddy got a lead on. We're gonna go check it out, probably pick it up today. It's reasonably priced, as long as it's decent. So that means today we got the old Dura Rust here, hooked up to the trailer, got the winch on, just getting ready to roll out to go look at this thing. I'll probably bring the camera out once we get there, do a walk around from where it's been sitting and whatnot. Like, she's been off the road for a few years, so I'll break you guys out once we get there. All right, guys, here she is, 67 Pontiac Bonneville. Got a broken tranny cross member, biggest concern right now, but other than that, she seems pretty good, to be honest. I mean, we're about to wash her and see what she turns into, but we're just doing a nice little walk around first here, you know. I mean, a little bit of exhaust hanging, nothing too crazy. Bumper's a little messed up. Somebody got pulled out of the ditch by the bumper. And then missing some rockers. Nothing that we can't fix. I mean, we still got the stainless steel trim, so we're good there. But she's a pretty clean car, actually. Well, let me get the hood popped, and then we'll engine degrease it, and then I'm gonna wash the living crap out of this thing, guys. I'll get back with you guys soon. Alright guys, just a little preview of the underhood here. It is 100% complete. I don't see a thing missing, which is really nice actually. But like I said, I'm gonna hit all of this with some degreaser, and then I'm gonna fire up the old pressure washer or the old car wash and start washing. But we're just gonna let this chew on everything. Just getting it all. Yes, but like I said, guys, I'm just gonna keep washing this thing down. Once we pull out of the car wash with the sunlight, I'll bust the camera out and show you guys what we're dealing with here. So see you then. Here she is, all cleaned up now. I mean, real crappily cleaned up, but it's better. See, got a little bit of rusting going around the wheel wells, but that's minor. Bumper's got a hole. Some more rear bumper's pretty rough. The rear bumper's pretty rough. Got a little dent right here. This side again, rusty around the wheel wells. Don't have no rocker panels. We'll make something up there. I got some metal. But pretty clean car actually. Interior is very clean. We'll get to that later. But she cleaned up pretty good actually. So next task will be getting it off the trailer. And we'll bring you out for that. Mount so that I can put like a piece of angle iron in there or something, just so that it catches it, so that the tranny doesn't sag down, so that I can actually get it off the trailer. So just figured I'd give you guys an update of what's happening with this thing. I'm gonna put the camera down and just get this ground out. I'll bring you guys back in once I start devising my new transmission mount. Okay guys, we're back. I got all I did was cut a flat plate and for your information, on a 67 Bonneville, these two rivet looking things, they're actually carriage bolts. There's no reason whatsoever to actually need to cut those off like I did. I mean, they're still kind of working for what they need to do for temporary, but I then just took a piece of flat steel, cut it out so that it overhangs so that the cross member can catch it actually instead of missing the frame rail. For now, transmission is up, so we can at least get it off the trailer, get it in the air, see what we're actually all working with, and figure out how to deal with this properly. But I'm gonna start unloading this thing then now, guys, so I'll maybe set you guys up on a tripod and show you that whole process too, maybe. Alright guys, we got it pushed in the garage now. I got the air cleaner off just to see what looked like under there. Everything seems to be pretty much here. I did a quick little glance around, you know. I'll bring you guys in and show you what's going on. But I think we're probably just gonna check oil, put my jump pack on it, see if the thing even turns over or what's happening. Maybe pinch off the fuel line just so it doesn't try to draw up old gas. I don't know what's in the tank. And then, other than that, let's see what it's got, I guess, you know. Here, let me bring you guys in and we'll take a look. So, what I believe we have here is a Pontiac 400. And right off the rip, I guess I see those guys right there are broke, but those are pretty self-explanatory. We got a new coil because the old one's right down there. Carburetor looks okay. I mean, it's there. Does it? And it moves. Yeah, that moves. Let me see if anything else is jumping out at me. Looks like maybe a new coolant temp sensor's been put in. It's kind of shiny. We got AC. Pump doesn't feel locked up. That's cool. Alternator, power steering. We got some power steering fluid. Missing the battery. Probably gonna need some brake components, whatever. We're worried about getting it running today. more than stopping. Let's come over here and pull the dipstick here once. Yeah, there's oil on it. Smells a little gassy, but we'll still crank it over. Alrighty guys. Well, I think I'm gonna put you guys on the tripod. I'm gonna probably pop underneath this thing, roll it over by hand if I can, see if it rolls, and then pinch off the fuel line to the fuel pump, and then we'll hook a battery up and see if it cranks. Alright guys, I'm just trying to roll the motor over by hand to make sure that it is actually free. Oh, yeah. And it seems to roll fairly decent. So I know she's not locked up or nothing. So now that I feel satisfied about that, I guess, like I said, I'm going to crawl under there, vice grip off the fuel line so that it doesn't try to pull whatever's in the fuel tank up if it does pop off or anything, or even just cranking. I don't want to pull that shit up. This big fat one, put a vice grips on him. What type of clamp is that? That's a factory fuel pump still? Okay. Cool. Probably still works. Just clamp that off for now so we can't suck anything. Alright. Got the fuel pump clamped off down there. Let me go grab my jump pack and we'll twist on the key. Where did I put my jump pack? Back in my truck. I got a spark tester that I'm also going to toss in line quick just so I can watch to see if we're getting spark. Alright, I guess I don't have a spark tester, so we're going old school with it. Give me. Alright, you want to crank it once? Okay, we might need a battery on top of this jump pack. Alright. Alright, we got a battery out of the other Bonneville. AC Delco, obviously that's what we're working on here. Might as well. Can't go wrong. And let's toss this down in the space. Well, that's a nice and tight fit. This one. There we go. It's a little nicer. This is like the smallest battery tray I've ever seen.
I know. Lots of battery in there.
Alright. Huh? Oh yeah. Alrighty, let's try this again.
Ready?
Yep. Okay, hold up. I don't think we're getting spark. Alright, go again. Yeah, we're not getting spark. Let me pop this distributor cap off and see if we got points or what's going on in there. I can only assume that the points are great if it does have points. So I need to grab a screwdriver and we'll get this cap popped off. Let me see if I can get you guys in a little bit better shot of the engine bay while I'm working here. Oh yeah, that's great lighting actually. There we go. Alright, so I'm just going to pop the distributor cap off quick, guys, and see what's going on under there. Ooh. Cap looks new. Let's get all up in here. Ugh. First of all, let's find my flashlight before I get all up in here. Misplaced that one too now. Oh, right here. Whoa. First of all, where are my power wires? Alright guys, we ain't got spark right now, so I'm just going to do a quick test to see if we even have power to the coil. And if we have power to the coil, then we'll check the points. And if the points are good, then we'll figure out where else we got to go. Grab that guy to a ground over there. Yeah, we got battery voltage at the coil. So that's telling me that our points are probably bad. Let me go see if I can just manually open them and make this thing spark quick. Let's pull the, gotta pull the rotor off quick to be able to access the points. And it's just two flatheads. Vacuum came off. Can't have vacuum leaks. How long-winded is this thing? There we go. Do my weights actually move too? That is a good sign right there. Where are my points and how do they look? You serious? Pontiac? Are you serious? Yep, there's her spark. Yep. You want to go turn the key off? All right, well, these points are going to be super fun to get to. I might actually just have to take them all the way out to be able to clean them, and then we'll put them back in and adjust them. I feel might be the easier solution here. All right, guys, this is our whole little point plate system set up here. I got to get in here and clean up these contacts right here, and then we'll reinstall it, set gap a little bit as best as I can, and then we'll try to see if we got spark. All right. All right. All right. Do. All right, yeah. Let's try one more time here. All right, again. Battery is not happy. Might need to figure something else out. Oh, that battery cable's hot. It's all right. It's all right. She kind of made some noise. That's progress.
Your engine ground shit too, I guess.
All right, I think it goes directly to the engine. So that'd be like the auxiliary, like chassis ground. But just the power cables are kind of small on this thing. We'll turn the battery jump pack off for a second. Might need to charge that actually. Yeah, let's put that on a charger for a second. All right, guys, we'll be right back. All right, guys, I found a little bottle with some actual gas. I think we're gonna try bottle feeding this thing a little bit and see if we can get her to pop off. Go ahead. Again. Let me see something here quick. We're gonna try to fill that. All right, try that. I'll work the throttle. There's a part of me that I'm going to check firing order quick since I see that it has new spark plug wires. I might be concerned that it's not 100% right. So that'll take me 2 minutes to check, so just a second, guys. So it's 184. Probably goes to 4. 3. 6. 5. 7. All right.
There's also more gas in the can, I noticed that. But...
1. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. 11. 12. 13. 14. 15. 16. 17. 18. 19. 20. 21. 22. 23. 24. 25. 26. 27. 28. 29. 30. 31. 32. 33. 34. 35. 36. 37. 38. 39. 40. 41. 42. 43. 44. 45. 46. 47. 48. 49. 50. 51. 52. 53. 54. 55. 56. 57. 58. 59. 60. 61. 62. 63. 64. 65. 66. 67. 68. 69. 70. 71. 72. 73. 74. 75. 76. 77. 78. 79. 80. 81. 82. 83. 84. 85. 86. 87. 88. 89. 90. 91. 92. 93. 94. 95. 96. 97. 98. 99. 100. 101. 102. 103. 104. 105. 106. 107. 108. 109. 110. 111. 112. 113. 114. 115. 116. 117. 118. 119 Alrighty, try it. Alright. Where is more gas, you said?
In the gas can, right on the other side of that car.
All right, try it again. All right, again. All right, again. Keep going. All right. She's just struggling. Is this distributor loose or anything? Or no? Huh? Oh yeah, I'm sure the plugs aren't the best.
Carburetor's all gummied up in there.
All right, try it again. All right, I think we're gonna have to let the jump pack charge again. Alright guys, I got the battery on a battery charger right now. I'm just going to pull a couple plugs out and see what they look like. Just make sure, like, as you've heard, like it wants to spin over and kind of run, but it doesn't actually run. I just want to make sure we're doing things okay down here. I'm pretty happy with how the plugs look, I guess. Like I said, I'm just gonna clean them up ever so slightly. Alright, well, now that we got all the plugs back in, hook up a few wires. Go. Let's see what happens. Hey buddy, I know you're really involved in what you're doing. You want to come crank this thing over? I think we might be somewhere now. I don't know. Kind of sounded really promising. She runs!
Hey.
She runs! Now we can move on. That sounded really good. Fucking hey, buddy.
Oh.
Smoke another.
About to start up again, that's all I have to do. Oh.
Yeah. Awesome, guys. This is awesome. It runs. We'll start working on seeing if the fuel system works. Like I said, I think we'll probably hook up an auxiliary tank to the fuel pump and just see if it draws. And we'll go from there, see if the fuel pump's any good. If the fuel pump's good, we'll drain the fuel tank out or see what that looks like. Who knows what that'll look like. It was parked in '07, so that's pre-ethanol gas. Maybe we have a chance. But like I said, I'm gonna jump down there, probably disconnect that fuel line, hook up an auxiliary tank, and then we're gonna probably fire this thing off and see what happens. All right, guys, I got an auxiliary fuel system hooked up. Right there. And I just got that running to the factory pump right now. I'm gonna crank it over, give it a shot of fuel, see if the fuel pump actually works and if it'll actually sit here and idle for a bit, or we're just gonna see what happens.
Probably all that gas you got in this guy's going off.
Another little shot. A little bit more. What's all smoking is the real question.
Shit, after fucking years of shit.
Yeah. Alright, looks like we got a little oil leaks down there. Is this just shit burning off from what we washed yesterday?
Could be.
Alright, I think I'm gonna turn up the idle slightly. And then see if it'll just sit here and idle without me in the car with my foot on the gas. But it seems to run, guys, so I'm guessing I'll probably have to pull this carburetor apart at some time and at least clean it out or see what's going on with it. But hey man, we're getting somewhere. All about the learning.
Yeah.
Alright, let's see if she pops back off, guys. And we'll watch for smoke and see if we got fire or what's happening. I think it might just be burning shit off. There she looks like she's cooking now, guys. Whatever's. We got a little bit of an oil leak back there. Let me peek under there and see where that's at or what that deal is. Oh, it's literally leaking out the oil filter.
Hole in it?
There might be, but and it's leaking right on the exhaust. Huh. What would you know? If it wasn't so hot, I'd try to maybe. Let me see if I can just find a rag once, and then I'll try to grab that. And we're gonna raise this idle up some more, or try to, and see if we can get her to sit here and idle without me in the car so that I can actually see what's happening. doubt we'll probably still have to go through the carburetor at some point, but it's a big win, guys. I didn't know if it ran or not when I bought it. The guy said that it turned over, but how much of a word can you take from somebody who's trying to get rid of such a fine rig as this, you know? So, I hear noises. Coolant system is pressurized. Well, I think the next thing will be to do is get it up in the air more or less, and then get the brakes or wheels off and investigate the brakes and see what's going on with that, because as I showed you guys earlier, this master cylinder does not look too promising that things are going to happen nice in there. So let's see what the rest of the brake system looks like. We know for sure we're probably going to need a master. And I'm just going to guess that the wheel cylinders are bad, but let's find out. Alright guys, next thing, like I said, once we got it up in the air, we're going to rip the wheels off, investigate the brakes. It seems like the fronts are hung up pretty good, so watching the video of us unload the car and struggle, you guys can obviously see they were also locked up. That one feels funny. Wow, that one is funny. Well, 4 out of 5 ain't bad. There's one high performance tire. Alright, let's get the back off now. Oh, all the Bondo's falling out. That's alright. We'll get to fixing that one day. We'll get to fixing that one day. See if this drum pops off easy. There we go, look at that. Drum popped off super easy. Yes, breathing that asbestos dust out of the brakes of an old car. It's good for you. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. I mean, I'm not so certain that that wheel cylinder is actually bad. It's got a nice part number on it. Tells me the size and everything. God dang. That's... what a nice time that must have been to be alive. Alright, well, let's move back up to the front. That one requires removing the bearings to get the wheels, the drums off, and that'll kind of tell us what type of shape that's in also. We can check the bearings. We can also check the bearings on that while we're in there, obviously. Makes only sense to do that. So let me gather up the tools we're going to need for that job. And we'll move on to that. First things first is we pop off this dust cover here, which seems to actually pop off fairly nice. Oh, maybe spoke too soon. Oh, nope, there she goes. Yep, just like so. Right there's the cotter key. There's a cotter key in here that you take out. Take this nut off. One. Oh, okay. Grease doesn't truthfully look the worst. Doesn't look the best. It's been done in the last century, I feel like. Maybe decade. Century for sure. Pull the nut off. And I like to just toss all my shit down into my grease cup. Oh. Oh, duh. I think I'm gonna have to go get a bigger bar. Can we catch the bearing at least and pull that guy out? Oh yeah, we can. Which, the bearing actually doesn't look all that bad. Probably be able to just repack that guy. Hell yeah. But now the fun part of getting this off. Oh, hey, look at that. The bearing and seal are not in the drum, already taken out. That makes it a lot more convenient to have to pack. Nice. And as you can tell, these bad boys might need a cut just to get this rust out of here. Which, that's not a problem. I'll take them to work with me and put them on the lathe one day on lunch. That shouldn't be a big problem. But I mean, we still got shoe life left, so that's good. And I mean, I don't see any super signs of the wheel cylinder seeping in here and contaminating everything. So, I mean, I'm still gonna put wheel cylinders in it and probably new rubber hoses. Just because this one's not even tight to the wheel cylinder. So that's good confidence. And by the looks of it, we might end up having to do a couple brake lines, but I don't think that's going to make us go over budget by any means on this rig. And this other bearing looks real good too. So, be able to repack these and reuse them. That's good. That's good. All right, guys, now that we know it runs, we're gonna just tear out the brake system and probably replace it all, other than hard lines, hopefully. Hopefully we can save the hard lines. But I'm gonna start by taking off the master cylinder, get that out of here, figure out which one I need to order, and then we'll start on wheel cylinders and start taking them off one by one, and I'll get parts ordered, and we'll figure out if we need to hardline or not. But I feel confident enough to put brakes in this thing, and then we'll go whip it around a little bit, see if it actually shifts gears and stuff. And then after that, we'll... Hey, that's one. And there's number two. Thank you. I lied, I'm grabbing a power ratchet. Hey, nice, it hit the floor at least. Yeah, come on, get in your hole. Oh, I can't use... I can't use a deep well socket there, so back to the wrench we go. Yes, very much so. I should have sprayed these with penetrator. There we go. There we go. Maybe, almost, there, almost, maybe, I don't know. Yeah, that's the stuff right there. And we pull this guy out. See that we got the short bore, the short hole depth, so at least now I know which master to order. Alright, we're back out here in the garage today. After I turned the camera off last night, guys, I got busy doing some other things other than car related, so I just took off. But last night I did get all of the drums off and the master cylinder off, which is right there, off there. Took the drums to get cut today during lunch. Got them done. They were like 20 bucks to get them cut a piece, so whatever. Got all our brake parts we're gonna need here. Got hard line in case we break top of line. Got all three soft lines. Got brake fluid, got a fuel filter, and got a master cylinder. So I think we'll probably start there, doing wheel cylinders, getting them ready to go. Probably repack front bearings. Got grease for that too. And then after that, we'll probably start reassembling it, get brakes put in it, and see where we're at there. So I'll set you guys up on the tripod, show you guys these front brakes, show you at least one side, get after it. I don't know how much of it I'll film, but I'll film as much of it as I can, but I'm also trying to get this done in a timely manner, so I'll get you guys set up on the tripod. Yeah, it looks like we're probably gonna have to drop this backing plate at least off a little bit. So in order to do that, we're gonna need socket for this nut here, or this bolt here, and these two. And let me see where this socket here. Sure. Another thing before we take this backing plate loose, I should probably get these springs off, since that's going to need to happen to get the wheel cylinder out. I think that was pretty straightforward. Keep springs on their designated side. Alright, that pops out enough to where we can work with it. Pull out our little plungers, our pushers, whatever you want to call them. And let me see. Alright. Loosen that one up some. That one loosened all the way off. I don't think we need it that far off, but hey, it's off. Now does this give us enough room to... No? Okay. Well, then we'll just take this one all the way off too. Pop, pop, bolt, bolt. Pull that bolt out, pull the plate off. We can flip plate around now so I can actually show you guys what I was talking about here. This is the one bolt I was able to get. This is the one I couldn't really get with the with it on. That kind of was sitting like right there. I couldn't get the wrench on there, so I just popped the backing plate off real quick, and now I can actually just get a socket on this guy, and this will be real nice and easy to take off. Alright, there's the second bolt for the wheel cylinder. And then I realized yesterday that this was just all hand tight, so we'll just spin this off for now. Yep. And you got your backing plate here. You need to knock out the old wheel cylinder. And let's see here. Where's the one that I had in my hand? The right one of this side. Nope, I need the other side. Would be this one right here, I believe. Let's see. Yep, same. Perfect. And we'll just tuck that guy back in. And just tuck him back in. I see that he's kind of a tight fit with this piece right here, so we'll just maybe put it in the same way it came out. I don't know. Does spinning that plate around at all help me? It might help if I put it in the right way to begin with. Oh, hey, look at that, yeah. And just slide the new one in. Flip the plate around. Put the bolts in. Put the bolts in, and then I'm just going to leave this off for right now because our next task is going to be to replace this rubber hose here. And for that, I like to there it is. So the real problem here on this guy here is that it's just all rusted up. What I like to do to try to save the line is I'll take a wire wheel on a drill and I'll go around the line just get her kind of real cleaned up a little bit, get that big rust and stuff off of it. And then the next step to my seemingly slight success of doing brake lines on old cars is when you bust out the old map gas torch here. One of the map gas torches. And then you also want to get yourself a vice grip crimped on this side of the world. Even though it technically hooks into the bracket, it still tries to twist either that or the bracket. So get nice good firm grip on there and there we go. See if we can set the car on fire today. And then I like to just get in there and really heat it all up. take my flare nut wrench here and just try to work it back and forth just a little bit at a time. You don't want to twist the line off. And I think we might have done, I think we may be successful on this line. And then once I get it broke loose, I kind of like to spray a little bit of penetrating oil on it on the way up. And just keep working it nice and easy. Don't try to, if it gets tight, go back the other way and then try to walk it back off. You don't want to twist the line. It's what we're trying to prevent here. Alright. And now that flare nut's off, grab your trusty vice grips that you just used to hold that line. There's this little C-clip thing here. Once I pull it off, I'll show you guys. Yeah, just like a little C-clip here that so this C-clip piece here clips into this line like so in between this bracket, and that's what retains it. And I have a new one of those somewhere here. There it is. Got a new brake line. Oh. So let's get back, now that we got that undone here, let's get back to the actual brakes also, which got a new brake hose, comes with a new copper line or copper washer for the wheel cylinder. I'm just going to thread this and get this all threaded into the wheel cylinder before I even put the backing plate back on the car. And then we just hook up this hose once we're done there. But doing it like this right now, make sure, just really lets me make sure that I get it tight. And yes, I'm using flaring wrenches because I just happen to have the flaring wrench set next to me and I'm too lazy to get up to go get the right wrenches. But I mean, a 5/8 is a 5/8, I don't care. And then put your alignment bolt back in, or pin your spindle bolts back in here. These lower ones go back in. Oh. Which these lower bolts also bolt to your tie rod and here. So make sure you get them, everything back in a line and back together. There we go, there we go. And something like so. Put nuts back on. nut started again. Very good. Grab impact and torque down. Obviously to the torque spec that they asked for. And then again, hit torque spec or until the impact stops, one of the two. Whatever you consider. Yeah, something like that, that should be good. And then we can put our shoes back all around, get your little plunger, guys. Get him up in the wheel cylinder. Oh wow, things are a little tight. There we go. Actually, oh, where is the PB blaster? Spray all that down. It doesn't really feel like it wants to move too nicely. And then, I don't know if you guys can really make it out, but I'm gonna try to knock these high spots of rust down, and I'm just gonna use the teeth of the pliers here to hopefully accomplish that. Yeah, it seemed to work okay. Yeah, that seems to be doing exactly what I wanted to accomplish and nothing more. So we're gonna call that a success. And stick that guy over here. Come get shoe into place. We'll go back to this side and, oh, I gotta clean big gunk off this here. Something around there. And really, and now we just put our springs back on, hook in there, and I need my vice grips back. Nice. Oh, there we go. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And then we take our new rubber hose over here, shove him up in his home, and take this guy, get him started by hand, like so. Find the home for that guy, which is right there apparently. Grab said clip thing that we pulled off earlier. Pound that bad boy back home. Grab your 3/8 wrench, which I'm gonna go grab an actual open box wrench so that that doesn't take me 3 years. And then we'll just speed this guy down a little bit. And then for the final tightening, we'll bring back out the flare wrench and just snugged up. And that is a brake wheel cylinder installed. Next, I'm going to show you guys how I pack bearings, or how to pack bearings and get that all set up on this deal. First of all, I got to clean those, I guess. So while they're soaking and cleaning, I'm going to jump to the rear brake wheel cylinders. And since I showed you guys last episode on that 79 Bonneville how to do rear wheel cylinders, I'm not even going to film it. I'm just going to get it done. And if anything pops up about that that's super crazy, I'll bring you guys in and show you, but I will show you guys packing wheel bearings next probably. All right guys, we're gonna pack bearings here and pack the drums while we're at it. First things first, we gotta get all this old, nasty grease out. And just take a rag and your finger and just wipe it out. Yeah, just get the old grease out. It looks like there's two different kinds of grease in here mixed. So we're just gonna pack some fresh new stuff in here and just know that we're good on the bearings. Push that through. Yep. Just get her as well as one can really get it. Try a little bit of brake clean. And we'll run another rag through it. Try to wipe as much of that up as possible. There we go. It looks a lot cleaner in there now. Good. On to bearings here. I soaked mine in gasoline to get them clean. It works. That's all I'm gonna say is that it works. It's probably not recommended or whatever, but it works. And it's cheap. And they turn out to be actually really, really clean. As you guys can see here, they almost look fairly new, but they're by no means new. And to pack bearings, yeah, get yourself some grease. Get yourself some grease and put it in the palm of your hand in one side, grab a bearing with the other hand, and then just start just working it into the bearing. Just little scoops. Just start scooping and pushing, scooping and pushing, scooping and pushing. A little bit of rotation. Scoop and push, scoop and push, scoop and push. A little bit of rotation, scoop and push. Make sure she still spins. Scoop and push, and you're wanting to see it like pop, the grease start pushing out. Like even though they were clean, like it's still gonna push out old grease even because they are used bearings. And you just kind of keep working it in. And just keep working it in. And whatever you get on your other hand, just wipe back off into the clean pile. Roll it a little bit, make sure she's happy. And keep packing it in. Keep packing it in. You can't ever really overpack a bearing, but you can most definitely underpack a bearing. Alright, that one's pretty good. Set her down here on the rig. Grab our small little guy. Just jam a finger in there and packed. Alright guys, next thing is there's a cavity in here between the bearings where they sit. I'm gonna pack some grease in there. I'll get some light in there and show you guys what I do once I get it packed up. Yes. All the grease. Alright. Of course, get a bunch of grease in the drum. That's what you're not looking to do. Alright guys, now let me see here. Alright. Alright, yeah, as you guys can see, there's like a cavity in here, right down in here. I just pretty much fill the walls up just so that it's a little flush. Like it doesn't have to be like super packed in there, but I like to fill them. The more I think about it, I don't think the grease really transfers out. I don't know, I think it might just be there to help dissipate heat and stuff, but I'm gonna clean up this drum a little bit here, where I got some grease in here. And then we're gonna put the seal in. Oh, well, first put the rear bearing in. Rear bearing. Get him set up in there. And we're just gonna reuse the seal. The old seal should be just fine. Grab that guy. Tap him into place, just like so. Hit this once with some brake clean. Wipe the drum surface off. And that is how you pack bearings and a drum. Next I'll bring you guys over and we'll put the drum on and I'll show you guys how I tighten them up and get them just right or just wrong, I guess. We'll find out. Alright guys, we're back over here by the car. We're about to put this drum back on. I'll show you guys how I do it. I mean, there's a lot of things we should be doing in here, like cleaning up these feet pads and greasing it, but I'm just trying to make sure it works. If it goes down the road nice, who knows, maybe we'll come in and re-church it up some. But first thing you do is get your seal and everything in there, and then you just bring her on up and slide her on. Grab your little bearing that we packed earlier, right there. Slide that up in there. Let all that grease ooze out, perfect. Grab our little washer. Put that guy on. Grab our nut. Screw him on. And I like to spin that while I tighten it. And we'll strip off the glove so that I don't get grease all over my pliers. Grab another rag. Clean up said grease that's on the ground so I don't kneel in it. And then I pretty much just use a pliers. Tighten it up until the nut kind of just quits. Not much force, not much force. Just snug it all the way up. Spin her a few times. And then back her off until you can find the nearest hole for the cotter key. Is how I always do it. You don't ever want to tighten more to find the cotter key hole. You always want to loosen. And I'm not even sure where my cotter key hole is. I should have searched for that before I put the nut on. Because now I'm playing a game of where's the hole. Oh, hey, right there it is. And just like that, put the cotter key in. Bend him up and over so he can't come out. Doot, 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 doot. Bend that guy over. Grab your grease cap, bearing cap, whatever you want to call it. Pound it on. And that's how you put the drum on after packing the bearings. And we now have new brakes up on this corner. I'm going to go and do the other side off camera, obviously. It just makes it quicker. Like I said, trying to get this done in a timely manner. So, but that's how you do this side. I'm gonna go do the other side. And I believe next I will be putting the master cylinder in. So I'll bring you guys along for that too. All right, guys, we're gonna move on to the master cylinder now. And for this, I like to bend fleet them, but I don't have vise here today at this shop. So what I am gonna do is just put it on the car and we'll bench bleed it on the car. The master cylinder comes with these two red plugs. I like to just screw them in and kind of just pump the brakes until the pedal's hard and it kind of just bleeds out the master. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna tighten that guy in. Tighten this guy in. cover off. Jesus. That boy's a stiff one. Alright. Got some weird powder going on in there, whatever. Some brake fluid. Fill it up. Leave a little bit of space at it, you know, so that it can bubble out, but fill it up, and then I'm gonna go hit the brake pedal now and just wait for it to get stiff. I don't know, guys. Normally the pedal gets like rock hard, or the master gets rock hard when it's plugged off, and it's not seeming to be getting too hard to push, which is making me wonder if this master cylinder is good. I mean, it's brand new, but it doesn't mean that it's good. Now we're getting somewhere. Add a little bit more, since I see it still bubbling out. And we'll hook up our brake lines, open up the bleeders, let it kind of just gravity bleed, hopefully. Well, I guess I still got one brake. I gotta replace a brake hose still on the back I forgot about, but we'll get to that before I guess we hook up the lines. Let's just tighten these guys down now and see if we got a solid brake pedal or what we got going on. Yep. Rock hard brake pedal with that capped off. That's good. That is good. So, alright, now that we got the master bled up, I forgot that I have the rear center hose still to replace, so I'm going to jump under there, do that up quick, and then we'll hook up our lines to the master and open up some of these bleeders and just see if we start getting a nice gravity bleed out of them. Hopefully we do. So I'm going to jump underneath and see what it's going to take to get that soft rubber line off. Alright guys, so this is the rubber line we're replacing under here. I don't have a small enough tripod to set you guys up underneath here, and I'm just not going to set my camera on the floor, so I'm just going to get this line replaced. Same as, you know, undo these two flare nuts. There's a bolt in the top that holds this metal piece here. The new line looks something like that, where the T portion of it, here, let me get it out of the bag. Yeah, see, it's got the union block here. Both of the side lines clip into it, and then this soft line just goes up through the frame right here with one of those C-clip deals. So I'm gonna put the camera back down, get this done, and then we'll hook up the master. Alright guys, I just got that line underneath in the rear replaced. This guy here that I showed you earlier, got him replaced. So we got all new rubber lines everywhere. We got wheel cylinders in all four corners, and we have a new master cylinder. Let's hook up that master cylinder to the lines and start, maybe open a rear bleeder and see if we start gravity bleeding, or else it's getting kind of late tonight, so I might call it a night after we hook up those lines and just come back tomorrow and get that finished up. And then we still got to figure out if the fuel tank is good or not good, or what's going on there. I bought a fuel filter to put in line if it is good, and then we can just monitor it. I need to pick up some coolant and an oil filter still, because the oil filter leaks over there. And then we should be able to put her down on the ground and give her a ride after we bleed brakes and get the fuel system figured out. Alright guys, all that we have left to do is hook up these lines and then bleed them, but I think for tonight all we're going to do is hook them up, and then tomorrow after work I'll come back and bleed them. And like I said, we got to figure out the fuel system still completely, and nice and easy threading. Nice. Start nicely. There we go. Alright, and then I'm just going to go pump the brakes a couple times till I try to fill up all the wheel cylinders some, and then we'll just let it sit overnight. Alright, let's also take a look and see if we just blew a line somewhere. Or if we're actually okay. Put the lid on and we'll pump a few more times. I don't see us leaking anywhere. Alright guys, after pumping the brakes, we popped the hard line running to the back. Not a big deal. I'll just have to pick up some hard line tomorrow after work, and we'll patch that in. And then I also noticed that the other side cross member, tranny cross member, looks like it's about to fall out also, so we're probably going to have to look into that. Probably just do the same plate method that I did over on this side, and then drill a couple holes through the factory cross member and bolt it to those plates. I'm not worried about it being solidly mounted. A lot of newer cars, the cross member becomes solidly mounted, and then it just relies on the rubber mount of the transmission mount, which this one also has. So I'm fine with it. So that's how I'm gonna fix that deal probably. But yeah, that's gonna be it for tonight. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Welcome back to another day after work. We're gonna keep working on the Bonneville today. We gotta replace that hard line from the front all the way back. I got some 1/4 inch line for it, is what we needed. I had 3/16 yesterday. And then I got some coolant and some oil and a filter for it because we're leaking oil out the filter. But my main goal for today is to get this brake line in and get the brakes actually done. And then we'll move on to the rest of it. All right, guys, for this rear brake line that we got to replace, it starts at this junction block, which is below the master, and we got to get this line here. Nope. The one in the rear off. So that's going to be a little fun to do, I guess. And then we'll have to, you guys seen where it hooked up at the rear when I showed you that rubber line in the back. So run a whole new section of line from that point along the frame rail, down, along, back, up, in. But it's going to be hard for me to videotape any of that since it's in that type of an area. So I'm just going to turn the camera off. Once I get the line in, or show you guys some more farther along if I can, I will. But once I get the line in, I'll show you guys what's going on. All right, guys, I got that line off the front of that proportioning valve. I ended up having to just cut the line with a side cutter, and then I used a socket to get on there good and secure and was able to break it loose. I'll just end up drilling out this line so that I can reuse this flare nut, and we will be good. I'm gonna get the rest of the line torn out of it and run the new line though, guys. So like I said, once I get the new line ran, I'll bring the camera down there and show you guys what's up. All right, guys, so like I said, I'm gonna drill this out so that I can save this flare nut. I'm just gonna hold it in this socket here like so, drop it down there, put it in the ratchet so that I can hold the socket. Drill bit slightly smaller than 1/4 inch tube, and you just drill into the flare. And it looks like we got part of the line. And the other side is, oh, I see what's happening. It broke loose actually, and let me find my side cutters and see if we can remedy this. Alright, like I said, it's now moving in the flare, so I'm just gonna see if I can bend back where I cut so that it fits back through the tube, or through the flare nut. And let's see here. Grab no drill. And let's see if this works. Let's keep playing with it a little bit. I'm just trying to work it out. Oh, we're almost, hey, success. Good flare nut still. Awesome. And then also, after I got this out, one of those plugs from the master cylinder to help bench bleed the master cylinder fit in the proportioning block, so I just screwed it in so that we're not leaking fluid right now all over the place, and it's just capped off so we don't lose our bleed in the master. But like I said, I'm gonna get back under there, get the other rest of the line off, and then I'm gonna run that new line, and I'll show you guys how it's ran once it's up in there. All right, guys, I got that new line plumbed over here. Yep. Goes up and over the frame, goes down the frame, up in there. This is that cross member that we got to deal with, and now looking at that side, we're probably gonna have to do the same thing. And then looking at this transmission mount, that's actually broken. Maybe not. Yeah, I think it might be broken. But back to the brake line that we ran, what we're worried about right now. And there to the junction block behind that wire is the junction block. But that's the new line that we replaced. All right, guys, we got done bleeding the brakes already, but I'm gonna actually take you in on the front one to show you guys how to bleed brakes, because I told you I would. We have a good brake pedal now. I mean, it's an okay brake pedal. Need to adjust the shoes up. That's one nice thing about drum brakes, is that like you can raise or lower your brake pedal by the adjustments on your shoes. I mean, there's probably a set specific where it's supposed to be, but you know, wherever you're comfortable with your brake pedal seems pretty okay with me. Let me grab light over here quick. Do. So to bleed brakes, let me get light set up in here. To bleed brakes, you get a buddy, and then you see this nipple right here. You're gonna use the socket to open that here, but you get a buddy to pump the brakes up. Pump them up, Luke. Yeah. And then he holds them. And while he's holding them, you go and you loosen said bleeder valve, and fluid shoots out, and air. And then you close it, and then you have them release, and then pump again. And then you loosen again. And you tighten it back up. And you tell them to pump it again. But since we're already done bleeding, we don't really need to keep doing this. Oh. Where are you? Put our little nipple cover back on. There we go. Yeah, we got brakes. And just like that, guys, we got the brakes bled up, so we can actually toss the tires back on for now so that she's a roller. Next thing we'll be doing is looking at the fuel that's in the fuel tank, see if it's a viable option or if we gotta drain it out, and then we're probably gonna put a fuel filter in it too. And then also probably change the oil in that filter that leaks. And since we're changing the filter, I might as well change the oil. It doesn't look the best. All right, guys, right now I'm just draining the fuel out of the tank. I looked in there with a flashlight. It looked pretty okay. I just got a little electric pump hooked up to a jump pack there and pumping away. Just figured I'd inform you guys what we got going on. All right, guys. Off camera, I drained some of the gas out and then decided to just hook it back up to the fuel pump, fire up the car, and it seems to be pumping from the tank actually. It's not great gas, but it seems to be running on it. Doesn't really like it, but might run it out once we get it going here. I'm probably gonna be calling it a night here. I'll get back at it again probably tomorrow, if not tomorrow, the day after. But there was a couple wires broken underneath the gate, underneath the hood that I fixed, and it turned out to be our blower motor, so that's good news. That means, and I heard that turn on when I started the car then, like the blower started working. And then I even heard the AC compressor clutch kick on when I selected a different mode, which tells me that we might be able to get air conditioning working in this thing, which is super cool. And then I need to pick up some more radiator fluid. And then the return line, the fuel return line on the frame rail right by where the rear brake line rotted out, go figure, ended up popping and is leaking as we speak. I gotta grab some hose for that. I'm just gonna put a chunk of soft line in there, a couple clamps, and she'll be dialed. And then we should be able to put the tires back on it actually, and probably take it for a drive that night too. I don't see why we wouldn't be able to go for at least a little bit of a jaunt. I mean, we're not going to travel far, but yes. And then the next thing on top, after all that, after we go drive it, we got to clean the interior. Oof. Actually, we're not going to go drive it. We got to fix the cross member before we actually go drive it. That is about to fall out on the other side that I showed you guys earlier. So we'll patch that up again, make something for that. Which reminds me, I got to take the mount that I have with to work so I can make a little plate tomorrow, and we'll get that put in. But other than that, guys, like, I'm super happy with the progress that's going on this thing. This thing, it's going to turn out to be a super cool car probably. I'm excited to cruise it. Honestly, my first classic, it's nothing that to really go brag about, but it's getting my feet into the door. And that's what it's about. And it's just going to be fun to go cruise. See you guys tomorrow. Alright guys, we're back here out on the Bonneville. It's been a few days. I've had other things I had to attend to, which everybody who does anything automotive related understands that the project gets put to the last thing to do. But today, I got us some fuel hose to fix that hard line that's broken. That's going to be up at the top of the list to do. I got us an oil change, filter, oil. I got some more coolant for it. And then I also got another steel plate here that we're going to make another mount cross member hold up deal for this side over here, because where is it? Oh, it's up here. It's, I guess I don't have light down here right now, but it's about ready to fall off just like the other side did, so I'm just gonna preemptively fix it properly, fix it, improperly fix it, and the end goal for tonight is to actually go take it for a drive. So I'm gonna get you guys up on a tripod somewhere, probably grab the GoPro for underneath the car footage, and go fix that fuel line first of all, probably start draining oil, and then I will get the jack out, jack up this cross member over here, get the old mount out, cut my plate, drill a couple holes, and get that mounted, and then hopefully we can figure something out for some tires, and we're gonna go cruise this thing. let's get to work. All right, guys, if you remember, we got to replace this chunk of line here. This is the wrong size. It doesn't fit the line at all. I just slid it on there so that way it wasn't just pouring out. Kind of contained it a little bit. Yeah, there we go. We're gonna replace it with some 1/4-inch hose, actually. Some properly sized line for the job. I mean, we're still just gonna slide her up on there a little bit there, and then let's see here. Let's see here, where'd my leather? Oh, we can chop that guy down some. Chop him down to about, I don't know. Oh no, can I not get my snippies on it? Yeah, struggling to get the snips. Let me see here once. Camera down. Alright guys, I got that fuel line patched in here from dare to dare. Had to place some musical clamps because that's the clamp that I found that I could only find. Way too big for that line, but that line clamp right there was on that line, so I just flipped them around. Very nice. Next thing I'm going to do is find a drain pan and get this oil draining, get that filter off, and then we'll replace that. So let me go find a drain pan. I'm going to pour some coolant in. Let's see if I can do this. Just go ahead and top this off. Alright, and then since that was full concentrate, we'll just top that off with water and we should be good because we'll be able to put up to a full gallon of water, no problem in there. Next, let's get to the oil change here. Here is the bucket I got, guys. So, you know, all the room. There is the drain plug. I grabbed definitely the wrong size wrench. I can tell you that much right now, so yeah, we'll go get the right size wrench. We might have to grab socket actually, because we only go up one more size. I bet you that bad boy's a 11/16 or 3/4. Jesus, that bad boy was big. A 3/4 too big. 11/16 is just right. The shitty part about this is that like we're pretty much guaranteed to make a mess because, wow, okay, let's see here. Oh, okay, hold up. I just set you guys down and grunt that one out. Move the bucket over into place maybe. I know you guys can't, I can't see nothing that's going on. All right, I guess we'll just pull the drain plug pretty much all the way out. Start scooting bucket over. Oh, look at that. We might be successful. We got it. All right, and now since I haven't had the car running at all today, I'm just gonna let this drain for a while. Just let it all drain, and I'm gonna move on to the cross member. So I'll bring you guys with for that, bring you back out over there. All right guys, let me see if I can show you what's actually going on here. So there's supposed to be this rubber mount deal in here with this piece that holds it over the top of it. And as you can see, that has just all rusted away. Blop, blop. This is barely, just barely catching the frame rail. So what I'm gonna do is take these nuts out here. There's another one right over here. Take these bolts out, make a plate that just extends the frame out a little bit so that this has something to catch. And then I'm gonna drill 2 holes through that into this cross member on both sides because I have the same plate method. And I'm just gonna bolt it all together. And hopefully, you know, we're not gonna look at that transmission mount until after we're done driving it, but hopefully that just takes all the harmonics and we'll be just fine. A little bit of rust up there, I guess. I don't know. Probably. Ah, she's still solid. But yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get these 2 bolts out here. Nuts, so that we can reuse these bolt holes. Make up a plate quick. I'll show you guys how I'll make the plate. And then put that plate in, like I said, and just drill a couple more holes through that plate, then up into this cross member. And we'll bolt it all together and it'll be in the car solid. So like I said guys, just gonna take these 2 nuts out, nuts off. And it's kind of crazy with how rusty everything is on this car. Everything's kind of just broken loose pretty nice and easily. Like, it's kind of been a nice deal. Get it here. There we go. Okay. Thread that back on a couple of turns and try to get my socket back. Give it back. Give me my socket back. Oh no, we're just moving the... There we go, got that one. All right, one more nut to dig it off and then we will begin making our plate. I'm at the wrong side of the world for this one. There we go. Maybe. Oh. Oh. Oh, wow, ow. Injuries occurred, but it's broke loose. That's good. Yes. Okay. Oh. There we
this one is. Yes. Yes, keep coming loose. Just keep doing your thing. Oh. Yes. There. We're getting somewhere. There. Okay. It's feeling really loose now. So it's either broken off or it's about to be loose. There we go. Wow, nice job. Okay. Cool. Now that we have both those nuts off, I'm gonna make up this plate. I'll bring you guys with for that, show you how I'm gonna do that and how I did the other side, and we'll get it tossed in. Mild stuff. I don't have any real markers or anything, so this is the old mount. I'm just going to use it to template where holes need to be drilled, 1, 2, and then just slice her off there, put that on the frame, cross member will sit on top of that. I'll feel like we're good, and all I'm going to do is pretty much just take the grinder, cut this free willy, zip, zip, grab a hole, a drill, and just drill these out straight through this mount so that I know they're right where they're supposed to be. So let's get to it. Alright, we got our cuts. Next thing we'll do is grab the drill and drill bits and maybe another vice grips to hold it in place, and we'll just drill our holes straight through. Yeah, something just like so. Now it's not moving. Grab our drill bit. We got our plate made up, 2 holes. I'll bring you guys back under there, show you how I'm going to mount this up. You guys already know the 2 nuts that we took off of the frame rail. This is going to slide right over, and then the cross member will sit down, and then we'll drill holes going up into the cross member to bolt the cross member to the plate. Alright guys, got the plate like I said. We're going to jack up this cross member some, slide this in here, set that in there, bolt it back down, drop the cross member on it, drill a couple holes up into it. Boom. Put nut on. Start other nut. Socket's kind of stuck to the nut, nothing new there. Can we just get the, if we can get the ratchet on there, we'll just tighten it down and deal with it after it's tight. There we go. Yeah. We'll just go tighten this down. Key. This one's got a slight upward rake to it. I'm okay with that. See if we can pinch her down with this side. See what happens. Oh yeah. There she is. And once I get my socket back, we'll go, well, let's just drop the jack down once and see if the cross member stays in place now. Hey. All right, and like I said, now I'm just gonna take the drill one hole through this side, one hole through that side, put a nut and bolt through it, bolt it all together, and we have a nice solid cross member mounting place. Just gotta make sure we got it slightly square, but that shouldn't be a big deal. All right, guys, I got a pilot hole drilled, which I will show you how I drill upwards into cars when I have the ability to. You take your floor jack here and you just put her underneath the drill, get the drill all lined up, start drilling, let her eat. And this bit is not happy with this, but you know, there we go, and we're through just like that. Let the jack back down, get the drill out of there, nut and bolt, nut bolt washer through, put the washer on the other side, put the nut on the other side, tighten this up, and we have a transmission cross member that's actually bolted to the car for the first time. It's amazing. I don't know how long it's been since that's been a thing, but we're gonna call that good. I got one more side to drill, and then we will go from there. All right, guys, topped off. We got the oil drain down, oil plug in, and we're now going to put oil in the car. We're using good old Rotella T4 today for her. It was cheap, and it's not the right zinc, but it's got something in it. Gotta be better than other oils, I would assume. Has to be better than what was in it.
Yeah, she could have used some oil. And then all I got left to do is one more cross member bolt, get tires on it, and we're gonna let this thing down, and I think we're gonna go take it for a drive and see, and just see how it goes. And, oh. Fairly successful pour. Fairly successful, I guess. All right, well, she's got oil now. Perfect. Good. Great. Grand. Good fresh oil and new filter. We also topped off the coolant rest of the way. I topped it off with some water since it was all concentrated. That's now full. So really all we have left to do is I have to drill that last cross member bolt and then put tires on it, back on it, and we are good to go. All right, guys, got the wheels back on it. Well, got some temporary wheels on it for now. As you'll notice when we walk around, they're different. This cross member here, not getting a bolt. That'll get some welding to it one day. For now, it's good, I guess. Yep, it's just not getting a bolt. The plate that I made is some crazy steel and it does not like drilling. Like I said, got another roller. This side's bolted in though, so we're good. You know, it's bolted in. It's not gonna fall out or nothing. And again, another roller. But I'm about to put this thing down on the ground, fire it up, and go take her for a rip around town once and see what she does. Getting pretty excited. Let's see if she fires up for the first time today. No choke light.
didn't shut something in there, did you?
I don't think so. It just always looked funny. Remember you asked me at the gas station?
Oh, yeah.
Or before we left? Alright guys, well, it's running. I'm about to jump in this thing and take it for a rip. I'll grab the GoPro and you'll come with. Alright guys, we're at the end of the block here. We made it out of the garage. Let's go get some air from Robbie, who lives down the road, because Luke's air compressor isn't there right now. There's second. Oh, she's gonna be a cruiser, I feel. Brakes work great. There we go. Yep. Second. All right, put some air in the tire. Let's hit the road again, boys. Oh yes. I mean, the headlights are great. We got dash lights and stuff like that. We're moving. Oh yeah. We'll take her out on this gravel road quick and just... Oh, we even got bright lights. Hell yeah. We got brakes. Oh, we're kind of cruising actually. Doing 50. Well, yeah. Flying in my eyes. Too much wind. Too much wind. Next task will definitely be to clean this thing. Oh. Bad idea. Bad idea. Quick and turn around. gears. Tires feel dangerous, which doesn't surprise me at all. But I think we got ourselves a cruiser here, guys. Just need to do a little bit more work to it and we'll be out on the road with this thing. I'll be driving this thing to work. Hell yeah. Oh yeah. Very nice. Very, very nice. Seems to run pretty good. There's a little bit of a weird noise, but won't worry about it too much. We're back. Let's pop the hood and see if anything is super concerning. I don't really see anything that tells me to be worried. Other than we might be out of gas. Or the fuel tank is yeah, I'm not too sure about that. I'm pretty sure there's supposed to be fuel in there. Okay. One of our plug wires is unhappy. I just got shocked by it. Somewhere in there is bad. You can kind of hear it snapping, at least I can. Let's take a peek underneath. Is anything leaking? No. Alright guys. This is good. This is good. We'll actually have something here. I mean, it needs a little bit of love, but at least we know we got a running, driving car here, so let me shut this thing off.
Turn lights off. But there we go. We got ourselves a runner. We got ourselves a runner. All right, well there it is, guys. We just got back from the test drive, looked it over. We don't have anything leaking. That's awesome. She's gonna need a little bit more elbow grease here and there, you know, like I heard a couple spark plug wires like snapping, so then like when I touched them I got the so that wasn't good, but we'll get a couple plug wires, probably clean the carb. I also noticed that the fuel filter wasn't filling up when it was running, so I don't know if we got a fuel issue again or if the tank got plugged up or something. Might be something to look into later, but that'll do it for us, guys. Like, took me a few days to get it done with my schedule, but from being abandoned on a farm pretty much so to running and driving again is awesome. Like, I can't wait to actually get this thing finished up with some different tires and wheels and actually start driving it. Like, it's gonna be a fun car to drive, I'm pretty sure. Like, I'm really excited. But thank you for watching, guys. We'll see you next time. Like, comment, subscribe.